what's up, everybody? Michael Reeder here, CPA, entrepreneur, owner of Swartz and Reeder Advisors. Click that subscribe button. Hey, this is just a quick hitter video right here. Okay, this is just one example. This is a case study in why decisiveness matters in the sales process. Okay, now there are so many other things that matter in the sales process, and decisiveness alone is not good enough. There needs to be other areas, because then they're that follow the decisiveness. Because if not, then it could really look bad overall. But just decisiveness matters in the sales process. So this is just a small little example as to why, from my own personal experience this past weekend, right? So I went out to dinner on Friday night, and I wanted to order a bottle of wine for the table for dinner. And so I went over to the wine. I went over to the wine shelves that were there at the restaurant, and the owner of the restaurant came over. She was kind of she was indecisive on which wine bottle I should choose. She was asking me questions, and I was answering them and stuff like that. And then two servers came by as well, and another server was again just kind of indecisive on which one that I should choose. And it's all good. I wasn't upset or anything like that. In this context, I was the consumer, and they were the service / provider of goods in the marketplace in this context, right? And so, but then the other server, and so the wine ended up being great, right? And if the wine was not great, then that it would have been a negative experience. But then I also could have blamed myself too, because maybe I wasn't as descriptive in what I was looking for in the wine. But anyways, this is just an example of just human psychology and how humans make decisions. The second server, she was just decisive about the wine that I should have used. She was decisive about the wine that I should go with. And so her decisiveness made me go with it. And I'm not a wine expert, right? I'm not a wine expert. So if I was a wine expert, maybe I would be asking for more questions. I would be asking more questions, and maybe the servers would be more experienced in wine. Because if I was a wine expert, I'd be going to places that were more known for their wine and stuff like that. But this was just a restaurant. It was great. I had a great dinner, by the way. And what was just really present for me, and it's still present for me, and that's why I wanted to share this, is how decisiveness matters in the sales process. Because the fact that I was looking to follow the lead in that context as the consumer. I wanted the provider in this context, the provider of goods and services in the market, which was the restaurant's staff and owner in this context, and I'm the customer in this context. I wanted to follow their lead, and their indecisiveness was just making me even more and more indecisive. But then when the second server came in, was just decisive and said, "Hey, Mike, you should go with this one," I just went with it. And so the psychology of me there as the consumer, that happens all the time with consumers. Consumers are going to the service providers and the providers of goods and services to help them make decisions. And when the service provider, when the provider of goods and services are decisive, then that plays a huge role. So now again, you need to follow through. You need to know what you're talking about, but be decisive. All right, everyone, have a great day. Talk soon.